Our headlines today. In a critical condition, a new report on the state of the NHS warns waiting times and treatment delays in England are harming health and costing lives.
A stark warning on the reality facing unpaid carers as one charity estimates that almost 1 million are living in poverty.
Mr Bates versus the Post Office scoops 3 national television awards, but the real-life sub-postmasters remind the celebrity audience that they're still waiting for compensation.
What I'd like you to know is I went to Westminster a couple of weeks back and saw the new minister, and trust me, nothing has changed.
Good morning. A disaster for carrots. I'm in York to find out what went wrong in the field last year to push up prices on the fork this year.
Data centres in the UK will be classified as critical national infrastructure to help protect them from cyber attacks or IT blackouts. It means the centres which store much of the data generated nationally will be classified in the same way as the emergency services, finance systems and water supplies, and receive extra support during a major incident. The price of a single bearskin cap, as worn by the King's Guards outside Buckingham Palace, has soared to more than £2,000, according to the Ministry of Defence, which has spent more than £1 million on them in recent years. Animal welfare campaigners say the use of real fur is now a financial as well as an ethical issue. Our royal correspondent, Sean Coughlin, has more.
The tall bearskin caps worn by the King's Guards are a distinctive sight outside Buckingham Palace and at big ceremonial events like Trooping in the Colour. But animal rights campaigners are saying there's too high a price to pay, not just in terms of using real fur from black bears, but also because the cost to taxpayers has gone up so much. Each bearskin cap now costs more than £2,000. That's an annual increase of 30%. The figures have been revealed by the Ministry of Defence in a Freedom of Information request from the campaign group, the People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals. It means more than £1 million has been spent on bearskin caps over the past decade, and the animal rights group says it's an unacceptable waste of taxpayers' money. The MOD says it's open to using an alternative to real fur if a material can be found that's suitably durable and keeps its shape. It's a decision for the military rather than the royals, but Queen Camilla has already revealed that she has made the switch away from buying real fur. Sean Coughlin, BBC News.
Pharmacies, pubs and banks made up half of the closures on Britain's high streets in the first 6 months of this year. The accountancy firm PwC found that on average 18 chemists, 16 pubs and 9 banks shut down every week between January and June. Convenience stores and coffee shops have taken up some of the vacant spaces. Exports of whisky fell in the first half of this year. The Scotch Whisky Association says exports are down by 18% compared to the same period last year and is calling on the government to support the industry. An original print of a famous photograph of Sir Winston Churchill has been found in Italy after going missing from a hotel in Canada. The 1941 photograph by Yusuf Karsh, which also features on the £5 note, was found in a private collection in Genoa. The new owner was unaware it had been stolen. A man from Canada has been arrested. BBC One's The Traitors and Strictly Come Dancing were among the winners at last night's National Television Awards, but the evening belonged to the ITV drama Mr Bates versus the Post Office. It had 3 wins, including Best Drama Performance for Toby Jones.
Let's have a look at the front pages of the papers for you, starting with the Daily Telegraph. Almost all of them focus on the findings of Lord Darcy's review of the NHS in England. Telegraph calling the report damning, saying it found NHS hospitals are doing less work for patients despite receiving more money than ever. Let's have a look at the Mirror. Same story there, saying the Prime Minister will unveil a 10-year plan to reform the health service. According to the paper, the review also exposes shocking deterioration in the nation's health.
The Guardian leads on the Darcy report, but also features the news that there will be an independent public inquiry into the murder of the Belfast solicitor Pat Finucane. In 1999, his death was one of the most controversial killings in the Troubles. And A remarkable story on the BBC News website this morning. The rock star Jon Bon Jovi has been praised by police in the United States because he averted a possible suicide attempt. The singer and his team were filming a music video on a bridge in Nashville, Tennessee, when they spotted a woman standing on a ledge. Officers said Bon Jovi helped to persuade her to come back over the railings to safety.
I'm Victoria Hollins. Schools in Lambeth could be merged or closed under plans being considered by the council because of the falling birth rate. The council's holding a consultation on the changes, saying people have been leaving London due to Brexit, the pandemic and the cost of living crisis. And with the birth rate dropping by a third, fewer children are going to school in the borough. According to analysis by London councils, the capital is expecting a total drop in demand of just under 8,000 places for the first years of primary and secondary over the next 4 years. The family of a musician killed at Notting Hill Carnival 2 years ago have said they're still looking for answers. 21-year-old Takayo Nemhard from Bristol was attacked in Ladbroke Grove in 2022. No one's been charged with his murder. His parents are hopeful justice will be served and help stop another person losing their life.
People them are the person who did this. Rest assured the police them will get you one day. Hopefully some of them, I don't think everyone might see some sense.
And realise what it does to parents and families when they go to take someone's life.
A ballet company which had to close down 30 years ago has been resurrected in its original home at Sadler's Wells. The London City Ballet, whose patron was Princess Diana, will perform a mixture of classical and contemporary works. Its artistic director says he wants to make the art form more accessible.
So we don't put on the Swan Lakes and the Cinderellas like some companies do, but we produce programmes that introduce people to dance. So the genre could be classical, the way we're starting, and then move throughout the evening into a more contemporary direction.
Today at 6, 60 years since the first moonwalk, now it's private enterprise stepping out into space.
Here, Earth sure looks like a perfect world.
The moment the first human being who is not a professional astronaut emerged into the darkness of space. Also tonight, modernising the NHS in England after a damning report. The Prime Minister says it must reform or die. New questions over the convicted nurse Lucy Letby's conduct with newborn babies in another hospital. And praise for Jon Bon Jovi as the singer helps a woman in distress back from the brink of a bridge.
Thousands of zombie knives designed to kill are surrendered to police ahead of a ban on the weapons later this month.
The only reason you could have those particular ones, zombie knives with the serrated edges and the points, is to kill and maim people. It's a weapon and has no other function.
But will banning zombie knives prevent knife crime? Also on the programme. Bank details of Transport for London customers could have been accessed by hackers. A teenager has been arrested. Lime bikes, love them or hate them, councils are demanding more powers to deal with them from being irresponsibly dumped. And calls to ban real bearskin caps worn by the King's Guards for ethical reasons and financial ones too.